All right, Stephen, I thank you so much for joining us on a happy hour with Hey HR. I thank
Yeah.
you so much for not even, thinking twice about it and jumping on in. I'm just excited to have you on tonight. And I want you to know that this is a safe space where we're talking mainly about human resources. But to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of times people don't realize how regular everyday life fits in. And this is going to be a super great topic because I'm having a staffing crunch. But you, on the other hand, is in a realm of entrepreneurship where I feel that's why we're having such a staffing crunch. So guys, I'm gonna go over a couple things really quick, and you guys know, just blow the chat up for me. Tell me how much whatever you want us to talk about. We'll definitely jump on some topics. I'm so super excited to have you guys on with us tonight. We really don't have very many updates because we've done live after live every single week. And so now we're going to kind of slow down. I always tell you guys about a homework-life balance. So I'm going to do 2 more live sessions on the next 2 Thursdays, and then we're taking a break for a couple of weeks. But tonight, I'm just so excited because we have a star player on here who's going to drop all kinds of gems, give us a ton of information that we just didn't realize could help propel us to the next level. And so I want to tell you guys, matter of fact, y'all know I be forgetting this part. So let me pause because y'all know I talk fast. Y'all know I get excited. Let's pause for a minute. Your girl is chilling tonight. She is winding down. When wine goes in, wisdom comes out. So we chilling tonight. No cocktails. I'm just doing a red blend. Stephen, tell me what drink you got.
Got a little 1738.
Ooh, let me warm the crowd. I got the warmer people. Oh, this man right here, he a force to be reckoned with. So y'all see the whole background set up. We trying to get where he at. We coming. We ain't that good. Right now, we do this red blend out of Walmart and keep it.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
I'm feeling it in my bones. Let me tell y'all, we have an amazing person. As y'all can see, he's full of energy. This is Stephen Kohn. He is the broker, owner, operator, CEO of Excel Realty here in Charleston, South Carolina. He's actually migrated to a few areas in the region. He'll give us kind of that information as well. If you guys want to know where this genuine connection comes from, it comes from a long-term relationship I actually had with his amazing wife, Rachel. And so when I saw Rachel with him, I just saw unity. I saw Black love. I was super excited about that. And I've just been tagging along on their journey. Over time, I decided I wanted to buy a house. I went with a couple other realtors and I was just not feeling it. I met Stephen when he was a realtor for another broker company. And I'm going to tell you guys that initially, when I met Stephen, it was unreal. It was a divine connection, in my opinion. If you guys want to know about a realtor who is going to pray with you, calm you during tough times, not put you in a house that he wouldn't live in himself. If you want somebody that's going to listen to what you want in your home, he's the person to go to. For my first time experience, I couldn't have even blessed any better than to be with Stephen. I wouldn't even go into everything else he does because I'm not sure if he does some stuff for me that he ain't doing for y'all. So, I'm not going to all of that. But the man is amazing. And so I want to introduce you guys to Stephen Kohn. Stephen, come on, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. So first of all, thank you for having me. I absolutely appreciate the opportunity. So I love stuff like this, just to have a conversation about where we were and where we are now, and then where we're trying to be. Because we all know that, that God has a plan for everybody's life. And
Amen.
it is not usually what you think. So but the journey it is amazing to watch. It's amazing to see. And I love to see other people win. So my whole outlook on life is just to, yes, I want to make it, but I want to bring as many people with us as possible. And with me as possible, whatever industry it is, whether it's family trying to get into business, whether it's whatever, I'm not out of reach. You can pick up the phone and call me. I am here. So again, thank you for the opportunity. I think this will be great.
I think so too. I know one of the biggest things that triggered me that, oh my God, I need Stephen on, because I love watching your journey. I love watching because, like you said, you are not out of arm's reach. If you DM him on IG, if you inbox him on Facebook, the man a busy man. So don't be surprised if he can't reply back right then, but he replies, y'all.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I absolutely loved about him. He has helped a number of my family members get into their homes, and everyone has said nothing but good things. But we're not even focusing as much on the aspect that he's a realtor and is a realtor or is a broker realtor. We want to focus on the fact that he did something where we are right now. Right now, we're in the Great Resignation, and there are tons of folks that are leaving out of being an employee and guiding themselves into entrepreneurship. So regardless of what kind of entrepreneurship you're doing, the journey 9 times out of 10 is going to begin the same. And if you want to, stop feeling like you got to report to work at a particular time that somebody else wants you there, you want to drive on your intrinsic values and truly see yourself evolve into something greater. Like Stephen said, touch not just a person, but to touch different people in different ways, then maybe entrepreneurship is for you. And one of the most profound things that made me say, okay, Stephen has to get on my show is the fact that Stephen put up a post. And on that post, he could have not said a damn thing on it, y'all. But what the picture to me was just so profound. And immediately, and I saw that post like super early in the morning, we all get up and start scrolling or whatever. So I saw that and I was just like, what happened now? And it was just, he had 2 bulletin boards. He had one that was a smaller one. He had one that was a bigger one. Now, before I show y'all this picture, let me tell y'all why this was so profound to me. When Stephen helped me find my house, I said to him, you're good at this. Like, I really like working with you. And it took me a little while to kind of read his body language, but when I could get it, then I was like, yeah, he didn't want me in this house. He got a list. And it really worked for me, right? And at the time I said to him, I said, how do you balance this? Because I would text Stephen at 9 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at 6 in the morning, and the man replies. I can't tell you how many times I woke up to a long prayer specifically for me. It wasn't a copy and paste. It was my prayer because it hit on everything with me specifically in the process. I was ready to give up. I was so frustrated. I couldn't find my house quick enough. My landlord on the other side saying, hey, you have this number of days or we're going to put you in a month to month. I don't want to spend more money because a month to month is more expensive. And I told Stephen, let's just hold off. Like, I'm going to just renew for another 6 months or another 9 months. That'll give me. He said, no, that's not what you're doing. He said, that's not what you're doing. And I was like, no, that is what I'm doing. He said, no. He said, we're going to get this. And we looked at, I feel like we looked at 5 to 7 houses a night, 3 to 4 nights a week. In between my daughter playing games, him having to get home to his family. And it was just when I was just losing faith. You know what I'm saying? And I said, Stephen, you're so much better than this. What do you plan on doing? Because I don't know how you balance, just me. So more or less, more people, a full-time career, being very devoted to his family. And I was just like, how do you balance it? And he was like, well, to me, that's what I'm doing for now, but I got a bigger idea. And he said, I'm not really leaking this out to anybody, but I think I'm comfortable telling you. And I said, well, what's that? He was like, I think I want to go ahead and open up my own brokerage firm. I was like, well, what's that? And he said, I'll have tons of agents that report to me. He said, let me be clear. I'm going to just do like 20 of them. And he said, my goal initially is to have a whole lot of us selling houses. That touched me. And I said, okay. I said, 20, that's a lot. Like, you going to have 20 people, doing this? And he said, yeah. Y'all, before this man made it to what? Your 6-month, 9-month anniversary, where were you?
40. Yes.
That thing gave me chills.
Yeah. 40.
He doubled the number he actually wanted to go into. And let me show y'all. So this is why this was so profound to me, because I watched him work with different brokers over the years. And I watched him balance this with a full-time career at Spaywar. So if you guys are familiar with like the local, with government contracting, then, Spaywar is a big deal. People don't walk away from that type of job. He had already did some time into the Air Force and went into the contract world. He had a pretty solid career. That just wasn't where his passion was. So when he showed this picture, I was just like, what the heck? Like, this man pulled this thing off. I was like, if he did it, so can I. If he did it, so can you. Anybody can do it. All you have to do is put your mind to it. So let's make this picture a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to because I got a lot going on my screen, y'all. I hope y'all don't be like, what do you got a lot going on? Because y'all know I'm not too savvy with this, but you know, that's what we do. And that's not where we're going. And I told Stephen ahead of time, and I think majority of y'all, which I'm gonna look in this chat in a second, if y'all repeat offenders on this chat, y'all know your girl be struggling behind the scenes. So please don't get alarmed if I'm not able to pull it up. Stephen, you can share your screen. So if you're able to pull it up, then let me know. But it is being really weird to me right now. And mind you, I'm on this MacBook, and I ain't a MacBook girl. I'm a PC kind of girl.
Oh, come on. We got to get you trained up. We got to get you trained up.
Hey, y'all. I'm so excited to see y'all on IG. Y'all, I'm trying to wave back to as many people as possible. If y'all want to continue to join the fun, hit us up on YouTube Live. That's where we are. Because I'm not going to stay on here long, but it's very, very nice to see y'all jumping on and waving, because I'm seeing that by hand waves over there. Y'all got me doing too much. That's what the problem is. Oh, hey, am I sharing?
I'm sharing my screen, but I don't know if everybody.
Oh, awesome. So I'm seeing your picture, right?
Right.
Oh,
I don't
good.
know if everybody else can.
That's okay. We're going to see it in a minute.
Yep, they can.
They can, good. So you guys see how powerful this picture is. Like, it just amazed me to see that the picture on the smaller one that doesn't have anything on it was his original dream. Now, I really wish the man had bring y'all the final board, because the final board is actually fully complete, right? Am I lying?
Yes.
It's
No,
fully
it is.
stacked. He has no room on that, so he actually needs 2 big boards. You know what I'm saying? To me, he needs 2 big boards. But I just wanted to show y'all why I thought it was so profound to bring him on here, to show you guys how you can dive into your passion. You can dive into what you want to do. And maybe being an employee is not for you. Maybe entrepreneurship is, so that you can be your own CEO. So let's jump into the chat real quick, Stephen. I'm sorry, because I know that we're going to hit on some topics, but I don't want to ignore my people, you know?
Yeah, no, I think I see him over there.
You see? Hey, Tara, I got tons of Taras on here tonight. What's going on, Raven? Life with Jamie Lanier. I'm trying to get in here, but it's hard without experience. Are you trying to get into entrepreneurship? Or are you trying to get into human resources? Let us know so that we can guide you in any way that we need to. Thank you for liking my shirt, Raven. Brought to you by Tara's Creation. Yeah, Tara just gave you a company name. So I appreciate my best friend for making my shirts. We're going to get some out there, some merch out there for y'all eventually, so that you guys can grab some too, because I know you guys were interested on the last live. And Raven, you know your girl stay with a good red blend. Stephen, I hope you see Raven's comment about your 738. Yeah, he can bring those down or something like normal people. You know what I'm saying? He got to let y'all know that entrepreneurship treating him well. Oh man, that might be just like it. That'd be just like it. Go on, get your drink, Life with Jamie, because this is happy hour. We are doing happy hour with Heyyy HR. All right, April. Yeah, April, I'm surprised you already got a drink, girlie. Get your drink. William Lee, welcome. I'm not familiar with your name. Maybe you're a subscriber or not, but I haven't seen you on a live. I welcome you so much. I hope that we exceed your expectations. Same thing with Andre. Guys, let me just let y'all know something. If you guys don't tap or put anything in the chat, we don't know you're there. So definitely give us some love. Let us know you're in the building, because William Lee is one of your
agents.
Yes,
right. I got a couple agents in here. Look like William. Look at Nikita. Sean, my homeboy at Full Circle Fitness. Shout out to Stu.
Hey, Sean.
We got Tara Hayward. That's one of my agents. Dominique Jefferson, one of my agents.
Oh my gosh. Ebony, is that one of your agents?
Ebony's one of my agents. We lit.
Excel showing out, y'all. I can do any of the Excel.
We lit.
But you know what? That speaks on how great of a leader you are. That speaks on how much you give back to them, because they wouldn't be spending their evening time with you if it wasn't that you showed to them the same points you proved to me. So I just love that fact altogether. Tell me something. I think that when we travel from entrepreneurship or from being an employee, working on somebody's job full time, and we want to travel into entrepreneurship, we get a little intimidated, right? Because you have the unknown of what your expenses are. Well, we kind of know that there are going to be some new expenses. We know there's going to be those overhead costs, but then we also know that revenue can be a little bit different. We're not depending on somebody else's pocket. We depend on our own energy. How was that for you? Because I'm sure that was a reality at some point.
Yes, it was super scary. So, a couple of things. So you mentioned I was in the military, and did work civil service. I was Spay War for 6 years. I was civil service for 6 years. So
Wow.
I had some military, I got a military pension disability coming in. So I was okay. And then I was working, civil service. I was okay there, and I was doing real estate. And then I realized that something got to give.
Yeah.
You mentioned the work-life balance, and you mentioned, how do you balance it all? But one of the things I realized is that I'm waking up going to a job that I hate.
Wow.
I don't even use the word hate, but I can't stand.
Yeah, that's powerful.
I went years doing this, spending my time and energy, giving them my interpersonal or intellectual property
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for free. And
No price tag you can put on that.
no price tag. And I realized, you know what? This isn't my purpose. I think when you grow up, everybody has different experiences, different backgrounds. And when you grow up, you basically join what you see.
Amen.
You see the workforce. And so you say, hey, okay, this is how you have to do it, right? You have to join a career. You have to get a career. First of all, you gotta and society looks at jobs and careers differently, right? So
Yeah.
those two. So when you get a career, you're like, oh yeah, I made it, right? I
I got
made
the
it.
white picket fence. I got the dog. I got the
I
husband.
made it. But it's far from the truth.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think you made it until you're free. You're free to have yes, honestly, that's where it's at. You have to be free. You got to be free in your mind. You got to be free in your soul. You got to be free with your time. And if you aren't free with those things, then to me, you're literally in the workforce. You are not an entrepreneur. You are literally back in the workforce. And so, and I don't want to make it seem that being an entrepreneur is better at all than being in the workforce, because entrepreneurs need people in the workforce.
Yeah.
If I had a production company, I need manufacturer workers to push my products, right? So you absolutely need the workforce. I commend them all. You just also have to understand where your passion and your purpose is. So I'll tell you, one of my biggest, I guess I would say one of my favorite quotes is about preparation. Is from Abraham Lincoln, and he says, if I had 8 hours to cut down a tree, I would use 6 hours to prepare the axe or to sharpen my axe. And the point of that is preparation, right? It's not fast. It's not overnight. So, it's not a get rich scheme at all. It doesn't mean that, you're going to make thousands of dollars next week. It's not going to happen. It's going to be some losses, and those losses are going to hurt. It's not always monetary. Sometimes it's time, it's convenience, it's your family, it's stress, right? So those things all have to be factored into your business plan. And so, the point of that is you have to spend so much time preparing for that exit strategy, that exit plan, before you make the decision to say, you know what, I know I don't want to be here anymore. I know there's something else for me, but now let me figure that out. And make sure that you actually spend that. And 6 of 8 is 3/4, right? 75%, which means that's a long time.
Yes.
So people think that I got into real estate 5 years before I actually went full time.
Wow.
So
I was wondering how long. Okay.
right. So I was in real estate for a while until I actually decided to go full time. I didn't wake up and say, hey, I'm just going to jump in, because I know the market, it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
And, with entrepreneurship in general, it's up and down. It's based on supply and demand. So you have to understand, you have to do your research in your industry And again, you have to make sure you have that passion. So passion is key. And I would definitely say, you gotta, we'll get into some of the things about with the financial preparation, how
Yeah.
much money you should have,
Yeah.
and I don't really tell people exactly a dollar amount.
In my opinion, that's the small part. You already hit on two big things, right? So the first thing was your purpose, and now your passion. It's these two things that you can't go in the grocery store and buy off the shelf. And these are the things that's pushed with so much more than, oh, okay, I see this deposit, I'm good.
Right.
It's just it's intrinsic value. Like you cannot really put a hand on how much of it you need, because some days I'm sure your passion wailed around, and then now your whole purpose is like being questioned, right?
Right.
And so people got to remember that when you know who you are, when you comfortable with who you are, you will find that purpose, you'll find that passion. And once you get on that road, like you said, it's not going to be easy. But if you don't start with those things, ain't no way you get into the finances. Ain't no way you get into the success. Ain't no way you get into the Range Rovers for your wife for Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Okay. Let's go there. Right. Okay. God has been good. Listen, God has been good.
Yo, I like messing with him because he's so humble. I love messing with him. He's so humble.
So you hit a couple of things that I just love. So the passion and the purpose is absolutely two of the keys that kind of push me into entrepreneurship. But I think I mentioned this earlier about the end. So another quote I like is from Stephen Kohn is begin with the end in mind. So before I went into entrepreneurship, and I would tell this to everyone here, you gotta think about the end. You gotta think about either yes, I'm gonna do this entrepreneurship role. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be a CEO. But what's the end? Like, where am I trying to get to? Because if you don't have a plan, right, it matters not what the end is. You have no idea where you're going. You never set a goal. So if you don't set a goal, and then when you set that goal, you got to be able to measure it. Because if you can't measure it, it's pointless.
How do you know when you fill your cup?
How do you know that I'm satisfied?
That I'm satisfied. And that's just the craziest thing to me, because people come, during the pandemic, everybody had them little throw $100 in, throw $500 in, get all this money out. And everybody just thought, oh, I'm gonna be able to quit my job, da da da. But that's no different than what you're saying now. I think that there are a lot of people, and I'm happy you said you're not trying to say that entrepreneurship is a place to be, right? We already said that where the place to be is where your passion is, where you feel your purpose is, because that's going to give you a drive. If you want to work for someone and stay in the office all day, or you want to, do whatever your career is that you want to do, or if you want to go into entrepreneurship, it all depends on what makes you satisfied. But the biggest thing is just that people do not take the time to pay attention to, when do I get to the point of satisfaction?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that in mind, you're going to keep going. You might already be at a point where, you've already gotten your return on your investment with everything you put in on the upfront cost for your entrepreneurship journey. And now you're at this point where your revenue is 3 times what it was on your full-time job, and you're taking all this money home. But if you don't know what makes you full, you don't realize that you already surpassed where you want to be.
Exactly.
I don't think people really, I told y'all, if y'all follow me on IG, on Heyyy HR on IG, I told y'all of my stories. And if y'all follow me on Facebook, Tamika Green, right? If y'all follow me any of those places, didn't I tell y'all this man was going to be dropping gems? I didn't tell y'all he was going to be giving us a word, but that man, and I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. I wondered about so many things, because obviously I'm in this space. I have some friends who've been in this space and this space is super new for me. So it's really fascinating to watch people that I know are so similar to me, like you, go through this space, right? And so I'm kind of thinking, what would this look like? What would it be before I just jump into this whole thing? And I absolutely love doing my full-time career. Like, I love working in human resources. That is my passion. I feel like I'm giving back. I feel like it's great. Never thought that it would put me in a space of doing both entrepreneurship and human resources. But with me being there, I think to myself, there are only 2 options to let me or anyone else know when you're ready to turn in that notice at that 9 to 5 and go to doing your own thing 100% of the time. And those two things for me was, are you making more money on your side hustle? Because, you know, initially your entrepreneurship journey is your side hustle until you get there. Than you were on your full-time job. So that's the first thing. Am I making more money on my side hustle than my full-time job? That's when most people kind of start to some degree of determining when to pick one road to go on. The second thing that people kind of journey to is, can my entrepreneurship journey not grow unless I stop my full-time job? You know, is it, I'm going to stay in this trodden place. I'm never going to reach the goals that I've set for myself. I'm never going to see full success until I can give it my 100% attention. Were any of those two, because that's just me assuming that those are the two journeys you go on when you decide, okay, I'm gonna leave. Did any of those pop in for you? And if so, which one? If not, what was it that made you say, okay, this is my time?
Yeah, so actually both of those were parts of basically reasons why I left or decided to leave. I was making way more in real estate than I was on my full-time job.
Wow.
And so my full-time job in a sense became a nuisance. It was like, dang, I actually got to go to work today. Right. I have to go to work. I can't go show a house because I got to go to work. I got to take off. Yeah. I got to take off or take 2 hours off, and I'm going to make 10 times more doing this showing and, you know, actually ratifying the contract than it took for me to take 2 hours off this job. Yeah. So it was like, what makes sense, right? And so I had to start realizing, where am I going to focus my energy? Like, is it going to be on them or is it going to be on me? And then who's responsible? So my one of my biggest things was, and two of my things was, one of the first ones is my cup full?
Wow.
Is it full? Are they feeling it? Is this job feeling it? Is it, and maybe it's not the right, maybe it's not the organization. Is it the position? Did I need to move positions?
You got me all relaxed in here because I'm like, this boy is serving up a whole message. Come on,
so it was a lot of things. And before I actually decided to lead the organization full and go full-time entrepreneurship, I did change positions a couple times because I said, you know what, maybe I just need to move to a different position. Maybe it's just this job that's, you know, that's wearing me down. And I did that. I took on more. I tried several different ways. So my point is, I did a lot before. I tried to make it work. And I just kept feeling like, and I took on more work. I took on more. I was like, hey, you know what? Give me another challenge. Give me a harder project. Give me something else, right? Give me more. And with more responsibility came more dollars, but then the dollars still didn't make sense. So I'm like, okay, I'm not understanding this. My cup is not being filled by this, right? And so, and one of the last things that really stuck to me was, I'm a man of faith, but I love to serve.
Yeah.
And in that space, in that organization, I had a hard time understanding, am I reaching the people that I want to serve?
Wow.
And every day that I went to work, I could absolutely say no, because the position that I was in was to serve people that were overseas, our military forces, which were great, right? And we absolutely need that. But the people that I want to serve are right here in the community.
And that's one way that your cup wasn't being full.
Exactly.
Right? Because you're not, you know, again, man, this just goes full circle. It's all the same thing, y'all. When we talk about this, it's all the same thing. When you comfortable with you, when you know who you are, you know what you value, you know your purpose, your mission, your values. Don't worry about the company one. Worry about what's for Mika. When I know what's for Mika, then I know kind of, okay, this is what fills me. This is what gives me joy. This is what gives me passion. And when I know that, obviously, I'm just going to drive into my purpose because, you know, the Lord, he defines our purpose. It's up to us to kind of find out what that is. But when you're comfortable with yourself, you're passionate about yourself, it don't take nothing to get there. Somebody said something in the chat. Oh, I know what it was. Somebody asked, and I'd like for you to do it because I did it, but maybe I think if you do it, it'll be a little bit more profound because obviously you know all about it. Explain to them about the boards, the difference in the boards.
Oh, yes,
So if you want to
absolutely.
put that back up on the screen, that's great too.
I'm gonna actually
For the people that
share
jumped
the
on later.
screen.
Alrighty, so let them know what we're looking at when we look at that picture and what that means.
Perfect. So let me first start by saying the decor is all my wife.
Oh, we know.
So Rachel Kohn is like the best interior designer in the entire nation. Okay, not just Charleston, but she has it. Okay, so this was her. But so let's start with the boards. So the first board on the right, on the left hand side. So our South Carolina Real Estate Commission requires us, all brokerages, all firms, to have every licensee office card posted in the basically in your office somewhere, right? So if state board walks in, they got to be able to see the license and all of your licensees, and it has to be active. So on the left hand side, when we first started, I was like, hey, I just need a board. I just need a small board. And I was like, and I actually had one.
Shoot on here.
Say again?
Because I only got 20 people I'm trying to shoot on here. That was your first day.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? It's not. I even said this. I said this board is fine. We're not gonna fill that up anyway. We'll have some room on the right hand side to put some of our other bulletins and things like that.
Oh wow.
And so at the time, I was comfortable with that because this was at the beginning. I had no, I was the only one. It was no agents. I wasn't hiring any agents at the time, and I hadn't posted it or put it out there that I had opened. So I said, you know what? I'll probably, my goal is 25 this year, and and obviously I opened in March. So I said, 25 for the first year. I think we'll probably get to 20, and then we'll go on, so on and so forth. I announced that I was opening the brokerage on January 18th. And March 14th is when we actually had our grand opening.
That's the that I attended, right? Is that
yes,
okay?
Yes.
March 14th.
So
okay, that was 2020, right?
March 14, 2020.
Wow.
And I, which was literally the Saturday before the pandemic, like everything shut down.
Yeah.
So
we didn't have a mask.
We were just like, what we supposed to do? We had no idea, right? So, and I was happy. And at that point, so I started accepting agents on March 1st.
Okay.
And so by March 14th, when we had the grand opening, I already had 10 agents.
Yeah, I remember you had a good bit then.
Yeah,
I mean, already halfway to your goal. That's
right.
Crazy.
So I already had 10 agents, and then so obviously the cycle kept going. People kept coming. I kept serving the people, and one of the reasons why this is so like profound to me, because it wasn't just Tamika talked about I said I wanted to help our agents. My whole goal for Excel was to help the agents.
Yeah.
I wanted to, it's not about me selling more houses. I want to be able to have more real estate being transacted in a minority-owned firm in Charleston, and then be able to help the agents develop successful skills and develop successful businesses. We all have an opportunity to be great. And what sense does it make for me to be a top producer and not have 10 other people behind me?
Oh, no. Plenty of people will think that makes plenty of sense.
Right.
That shows your heart. Plenty of people think that make money. Oh, I want all the money. I want everything. Right. But when you can go back and pull some people up. So one of the things that was huge to me with you saying that years ago and saying it now, which shows consistency. The man ain't changed. But one of the things that really got me with that was that you truly meant that. And that's still your goal. So when we start on this journey of what we want to do, sometimes we'll get into a space of people we're not comfortable with, we're not used to seeing. And it kind of can hold our thinking. It kind of can restrict us because we're looking at so much noise outside that we're not focused on the journey. But when you have somebody that looks like you, that talks like you, that listens to the music I listen to, that, is not concerned when I go and pat my hair and, like all of the things that come with being a chocolate brother or sister, that kind of makes you more comfortable that this journey as is starting is hard, but I got somebody that got my back. And that gives you that push and that drive when you don't feel like it, when you are tired, when you just would rather sit down on the couch and watch TV, that gives you that drive. So I think that what you're doing is not just bringing people up, but you paving a road that's a little bit easier. So many other folks that are not of color have already had so many easier roads paved for them, and we just weren't that lucky. Right. And I think that you're making a whole generational shift where you're like, no, I'm not just going to do this for me, and maybe my lineage is behind me. I'm going to impact as many people as I can. So I know that there are so many agents, and y'all blow up the chat and tell me if I'm wrong, because y'all in here, Excel in here. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of them felt comfortable going into that space because they know that they were working with somebody that is already familiar with them. Now, when they get in front of you and they talk to you and they see that you are at a hand's reach, then that makes it even better. And I'm gonna give y'all a personal example. So my personal example was that I always look at when Stephen, if y'all follow him on Facebook, y'all follow him on Instagram, Stephen, put that in the chat so I can save it. But when I was following him, I love when he shows like new agents that are coming up. So I thought, oh, this is great. And he brand the pictures really nice. And, I just love that. And I would like everyone, I would comment. I'm welcoming them as though I'm in Excel. Welcome to the team, y'all. And so I love that. But it blew my mind because I was seeing people of all different races. I'm seeing people of different age groups. And I was like, oh, wow. And all of a sudden, I saw a picture come up and I had to it made me pause. I don't really pay attention to Facebook. Facebook ain't my thing. But when I saw my little cousin up there, so we had lost our grand aunt. Right. And so we went to the funeral. This was just a couple of weeks ago. And I said to her, I said, Misha, how things going? Is you liking Excel? I'm so happy for you. I was like, you in the right hands. I'm going to confirm to her, Stephen is a good guy. Da, da, da. She was like, oh no, cuz I know he is. She was like, I feel so comfortable because of him. She was like, sometimes I'll think I have the most stupid question and he just calms me right down and give me the answer just like how I need it. She was like, man, I couldn't be in a better space. When you can have, people can tell you all day long, like, oh my God, you make a whole lot of money. Or, oh my God, I see your logo, this and that. But when you can get those types of reviews, right? I think to you, that's more powerful.
It is. It is. That's exactly what it is. And honestly, it confirms your purpose, right?
Yeah.
Because, you went into it. So that was my goal. And now I put those measures in place to be able to measure it, to make sure that I'm meeting my goal every day, to be able to serve my agents with my whole heart and to be able to give them as much as I can and what I didn't have when I got in. So one of the, I know somebody asked in the chat, what pushed you to overcome the fear? And so and I'm assuming obviously the fear of going into entrepreneurship. And, it was a lot of prayer, but I'll tell you this. So my three things, actually, I'm gonna stop the share. So my three things, and I'll go over them, but my first thing is why, right? Why am I doing this? What is my purpose? And then one of the next things is, and in that why, you got to understand or ask yourself, who's going to be impacted? Like, who are the stakeholders, right? Who are the stakeholders, right? Who's my target audience? How, and start to research that industry. How long is that target audience going to be there, right? How long is the market going to be the same way?
What's sustainable?
Right, is the historical data. You got to put some time into it. Again, we talked about preparation, right? 75%. You need to be making sure that you are making an educated decision based on factual data and historical data. So that's what I did. Who's being impacted? How long? Is this my passion? Yes, it is. Okay, well, do you really have an interest in it? And one of the last things is, are you going to be consistent? So
consistency, I'm sure, is what really brings you success. Like let's pause on that for a second,
yes.
right? The who and the what is important, but if you're gonna decide this week, see that hit my nerve.
It's facts.
Like, Tamika, I need a job. I really need you to help me. And I'm like, okay, what else do you want to do? I really want to work in it. And they'll tell me like 3 or 4 different titles that I'm like, these things ain't even in the same industry. And so you go and try it for 2 months and then, girl, that ain't working for me. Well, you got to be consistent. Right. You got to give it more than a 2-month drive. Like, what are we doing? You just made me waste a whole bunch of time. Right. Getting you in this space, getting you in this network of groups of people that's going to propel you, only for you to give them 2 months. Like such a, that consistency is important.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, because if you're not consistent, you're not going to be committed. And if you're not committed, you're not going to be successful. So consistency is really at the beginning of the whole equation. So, these are things, once I started to answer these questions and I was able to find a solution for each of the questions. Yes, I know who my target audience is. I know why I'm doing this. I began with the end in mind. I have my exit strategy. And then I'm going to plan. I've done my research. And then I also reached out to other people that were in the industry and that were doing this. And I said, hey, will you help me? Now, don't get me wrong. You do that and everybody's not going to give you free game. Everybody's not going to tell you, exactly. So, it's really about, and partnering with the right people is what I'll say that really help. But one book I would tell you all, to research or read is Who Not How. It's a really good book about basically.
You know about author is, right?
Yes, it's somewhere. I think it's in my room.
I'm gonna take your thought off.
Yeah, so it's Who Not How, but Who Not How is a book that basically talks about your goal, but you don't have to try to do it yourself. You need to go find people that are already doing it, partner with them so that you can leverage their skill sets in order to reach your goal. Now, when you leverage their skill sets, they're going to leverage your skill set too, right? It may not even be a skill set. Maybe it's monetary, right? Maybe you're helping them feed into their business, and now they're going to propel you to your goal, and you're going to propel them too because you're going to give them education and experience.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's a super dynamic book. I would absolutely tell you guys to start to read it.
Do me a favor, whenever we all done, take a look at that book on your bookshelf. Send me the author. Yes. Guys, I'll put it in the description box below this video so you guys can get it. So I'll definitely tag it down in the description box. So I don't want to take your focus off.
It's by Dan Sullivan. That's what it was.
Dan Sullivan?
Dan Sullivan.
Gotcha. So I'll put it down in the description box so we all can get it, because obviously I think that's so it's so funny that you say that it's telling you to reach out to other folks, because right now you're in that space where you're allowing people to reach you.
Right.
So you reach out to other people who already had this experience, and now you're like, okay, guys, I'm reachable. To bring on. How many agents you have now?
We are at 81.
Boy, stop.
Listen.
You got to stop.
I had to count today. Listen, I had to count today, and I'll tell you. So I stopped counting around like 60-ish because I was like, you know what? Whatever God has planned for us, it's gonna happen anyway.
I surpassed.
I've surpassed everything, so I'm good to go. Now my focus is, and honestly, my focus now is on honing in on the development of these agents, but then also expansion. So I feel like there's other agents out there that need just as much assistance as we do here in Charleston.
Now help me, because I know this is what you're talking about with expansion with agents, but I know at one time you were saying that you were kind of operating in the Charlotte and Georgia as well, right?
Right. So yes. Let me see who's on here. Okay.
Don't let the crowd listen. Even though that's great questions we got to get to, because I saw one that one of your agents put in. It's amazing.
So we do have a few. So we have Charleston. We have a Columbia office that's founded by Candace and Kenny McEwen. They're like the original founders of Excel. And then we all are independent owners of our own brokerages, basically. So I own the one in Charleston. There's one in Sumter, ran by Larry and Alicia Clark. And then there's a Charlotte, North Carolina office ran by Kenny McEwen as well. Super great. We're all individual, but we run together. We do everything together. And we are actually, planning basically an acquisition in another state. I won't say right now. I'll say on Monday. But
just tease the crowd. Let them keep paying attention to Excel.
So we are absolutely expanding into 2 more markets actually in next month. So I'm super next month. So and it's really just a testament to just who we are. We see the need, we fill a void, and honestly, that's really what entrepreneurship is. It's finding a solution to people's problems, right? So whether that's a product, whether that's a service, again, whatever you're committed to, you just got to be consistent with. Now, there's one more thing about on the I would say about the interest piece. So some people don't know that you're interested in something until you actually get into it. So I hadn't thought about like being a full-time real estate agent when I was 18, when I was 25, when I was 22, right? I had no idea I was going to be running Excel Real Estate Charleston today and who I am now.
And how old are you? If you don't mind, tell the group.
I am 33 years old.
Come on, man. And y'all 25, you know who's gonna be doing this. Oh, man, listen, so stop.
I had no idea, but I did know that I wanted to do something to serve the people. And one of my favorite quotes that I live by, I literally look at this every day. Dr. Cornell West says, "You can't save the people if you don't serve the people." Right?
If boy, give us another amazing memorized quote in case you said it one more time.
Listen, Dr. Cornell West, that is my guy. He says you can't save the people if you don't serve the people. And one of the things I want to do is serve or save as many people as possible, but that means I have to serve them, right? So this is what I live by, and this is why my agents get my service so much, because I want to save them. I want to help them. I want to help them grow. And not only them, I want their clients to be basically to get the best service that they can, right? And to know that they have a brokerage and a broker in charge that's behind them 100%. So I never want my agents to feel like they are out there alone. That's one of the things on the workforce side, you have supervisors that just have workers out here and not paying attention, not thinking about their development, not helping them grow, not forcing them to grow either, right? You, as a leader, you have to be able to look into people and read their skill sets, understand where they can go from here, right?
Discover what tools they need.
Absolutely.
That was one of the biggest things that I absolutely love is y'all keep hearing him say, I want to give back to my agents and give some of the examples, because I know that you've been doing before. I think now you kind of do them as webinars, but you're doing like workshops for them. Like, give us some of the things that you have developed where you're diving back into them.
Yes. So just into my agents alone, we have group masterminds where it's groups, smaller groups into 5 different groups. It's about 14 to 15 a piece. But they're smaller groups where we all just take a deep breath, talk about what's going on. How can we help each other? What are you doing that I can do in my business, right? And we sharing information, and it's free, right? There's no cost to this. But the thing that I can give you today, and if it's going to help your business grow next week, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what these groups are designed to do. There's so many nuggets and gems that get dropped in these group masterminds. In a smaller
mastermind groups, y'all need to Google that thing.
Right. So these group masterminds have really taken off, and and now it's like small competitions between our groups, and like, hey, this is what we're producing. This is what. So I love the camaraderie piece, but that's one of the things that I do. We do trainings every week, so I am the trainer. So I just as busy as I am, I take every week I am there. So a lot of other firms, agency firms will tell you that you either never see the broker in charge, or they're really not involved, or they hire a trainer or something like that. No, I'm there, right? I am on Zoom, sitting right here in my office. all the time. So they know I do it. So trainings, masterminds. One of the things, and that's just with my group, and it's not just my agents, it's all the offices as well. So we bring all the other offices in. But one of the things that I really, and I'm not sure that if a lot of people know, but so in Charleston, the Charleston Trident Association of Realtors. So I am on the board of directors for the association, right? And so as a minority male, as a Black man, to be on this board is really, really significant because we've only had one other in the whole history of the association.
Are you serious?
We talking hundreds of years. So the last one was Mr. Kohn of Excel Realty. Super great guy. He actually was president in 2015. But since him and even before him, that's it. Wow. So because I saw a need, again, because I saw a need in the association, not just in my brokerage, I felt like it was time to fix it. It's fine. It's time to fill that void. And so I went, applied, got that, but then I saw another need. So I am now the chair of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee at the association. This is historic because the association has never had a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. It has never focused on those type of issues, initiatives, or anything for hundreds of years.
Wow.
So
that's scary too.
It's scary, right? Yeah, so this is the first year that we are now taking a stance and, funneling our thoughts, our emotions, our ideas, our feelings about things, and really changing the narrative in Charleston.
A pathway for the other folks to come behind, like you grabbing folks, as you going up, you pulling them up with you, and that's huge. That's huge because you just hit on another thing, and I want to tie it back to working in that 8 to 5, 9 to 5. Culture is important. So he said, I like our camaraderie. I like how we kind of have an internal battle against each other. And you could see the smile on his face, his agents in the chat saying they love the Excel and going on. And that tells you that culture is there, that they are worried about, and they focus on making sure that people aren't just showing up just to show up like a regular old job. We don't want you to show up, dive in, do some work. But at the same time, we want you to have fun, enjoy doing it while you're doing it. And I think that is so huge because those are the intrinsic things that we've been talking about that you have to understand. Am I being fulfilled on this 9 to 5? And if for me, I like a good culture. Like culture is number one for me. Obviously, I want a good salary everywhere I go. But if I don't see that culture there, it's a no-brainer. I'm out. And honestly, even if they offer me a whole bunch of money, if I'm gonna come to work miserable every day and every Monday feel like a shitty ass Monday, I won't mess with it.
Exactly.
So you to build that environment for your agents, that came from you kind of going out there and deciding, I'm gonna bite the bullet and do something I've never seen done before because I want to create something I've never seen done before. And look at all of it's like you were on a one row street, right? Like a tree. You just going through growing, not realizing all these branches that's coming off. Like you're making trends, like you putting yourself in history books. Yeah. And that's the things that entrepreneurship has been able to award you. And I think that that's what people have to focus on is when you know your purpose, you know your whole passion and what drives you, you'll do things you've not only never seen before, but never heard before, and that people around you have never seen before. I mean, Stephen just telling us different things that he's already done that Charleston haven't seen before, only saw one time and just recently. If he's telling me this man was a president in 2015, I mean, man's still alive. So we just recently.
Yes. That is, yes.
I wanted to know now, since you have, no. I refuse to go to my question because one, I believe that it was your agent. This was a really good question. And I want you to answer this for, how do you stay humble with your success?
Because I know that I lack in other areas. So, to me, I'm great at a lot of things, but there's some things that I'm not great at. But I'll tell you how I can stay abreast, how I can keep going, is because I'm not in it alone. My wife is here every single day. holding down the fort.
Pull up. I know y'all mad because I'm not this man answer, but I definitely, y'all know, I already told y'all I wouldn't know this man if it wasn't for real. So I definitely want to hit on that because that's a whole nother YouTube live we can do. If y'all want to know, and I can see a couple of my friends that are in here and you guys, I put y'all in the same group when I talk about a blended family. You know, but trying to have a blended family period is a lot of work, but really embracing yourself in it. You already had a son, Rachel already had a son before you guys met. And then you had your daughter together. And so when you're bringing in co-parenting as well as a whole new marriage, another child, that's a lot to balance with a regular 9-to-5 job. And I want y'all to know that if you guys, and I was trying to find him and I'm gonna find it in a second and put all of his handles in the chat. As y'all can see, Tara already put up the book suggestion. That's there. It'll also be in the description box. And I'll also put his handles in my description box. But if you guys wanna see not only how I can get from a 9-to-5, become my own CEO, be successful in it, break trends in it, like bring people along who are valuable in it and create history in it, but all balance that with a completely blended family.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you do it? Anyhow, sorry. Yeah. So how you stay humble? Sorry.
but like it's true. It's not easy. But again, like, you know, I know that I'm not in it alone, and I know that I have people that are right there to keep me, you know, keep me where I need to be. So, like I said, my wife is here. She is always my backbone, my support. She's front, back, she's everything. And also, you know, of course, the man himself, like God is everything. And one of the ways I'll say, you know, you got to have a relationship with him.
Yeah, you do.
And
we ain't talking about that go to church on Sundays. And I was online.
Right. I'm talking about like I need to be able to talk to God like I talk to everybody else.
Amen.
Right. And I'm on that level to where, you know, I know what's right and I know what's wrong. And I know what I'm supposed to do. I know when I'm supposed to say no. I know when I'm supposed to say yes, because I got that feeling, right? Because I have that relationship with him and I know.
The connection with him.
Right. And one of the last things is self-care. You know, one of the ways that I stay humble is I know that if I go to the gym, which I do go to Full Circle Fitness. Let me shout out Sean Stu. Yes. So I know if I go to the gym, Stu is gonna humble me. Okay. He will make sure that I remember. Yes, he's like, listen, I don't care if you're a broken charge, and here this is where I know I can break you at, right? And so I love to go into, you know, and it's all great. It feels good to be able to know that, listen, I'm going to support my friend. You know, me and Sean was in the military together. I helped him, you know, get into the space where he's at now, a commercial space, a 3,000 square foot like gym, right? So it also makes me feel good to be able to go into a place that I helped him, another small business owner, get into. Right? So let's talk about support, right? So that's another way that I stay humble, is to make sure that I go to places that I know that I'm not good at, right? So a gym, and I'm good in the gym. Now, when I get there, I'm all right. But when I leave, I think about, I'm like, listen, I don't know if I'm coming back. I don't know if I'm coming back.
He coming back. But you know, again, that's how you maintain your self-care. Yeah. So that's super important for you. And let's not even forget, because you don't have to tell me, the smile I see in your face when you go out of town with your family, or when y'all do the yard work together, or y'all go ride and, you know, do your jogging and you're walking around the neighborhood. Like when I see you and Rachel post things on social media and I see that joy, I'm pretty sure that's self-care for you too. So you have to know enough about yourself to know what your self-care is. And if y'all a little lost on that, I did a live last week and I spoke with the life and business coach Bree, and she told you how to gain that self-care and how to balance that homework-life balance. But I'm pretty sure those things also serve back into you.
Absolutely. I like to see my family smile. And that really makes me understand that, like, you know what? My work is I'm full. Like, I've done my job.
You're a
Yes.
protector.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you a man, a real one.
Yes. Yes. That's it. That's it.
But you know, I'm trying to go to my questions, but they are silly in this chat. Them folks, they on your website trying to get a job because they were working Excel.
Raven says she would to sell a house. Oh man, let's
Oh,
go.
man, it is hilarious. Raven ain't even here. She in Houston, Texas. Talking all this stuff. But I will tell you that one of your agents was her realtor. I believe it was Will.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
him.
that it was. And it's funny because she was telling me when I told her I was bringing you on, she was like, "That's your realtor?" I was like, "Yeah, that's my boy." And she said, "Oh man, Will was so excited to get on that team. He was like, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get into real estate, and then I will get on Excel." And I was like, "That's awesome that you've served that much back to people that you've became a goal,
That's my
like,
boy.
it's so crazy
Yes.
that you're as humble as you are, because not just success, so much comes with success. People think like I just get the money with success. Once I get into this entrepreneurship, I start seeing this dollars, like I'm gonna be it. But it's so much more that comes with that. That overhead cost is your responsibility.
Yeah.
You and I
Yes.
talked about you potentially can consult with me to do some recruitment because you're like,
Yeah.
I might need some office staff. So I'm
Yeah.
sure there were some things in the office that was just kind of getting heavy to some degree.
Yeah.
Again, trying to find the right connections, not just networking with folks, but making sure you find the right connections, making sure that when you leave from those mastermind groups, that you're leaving with something and not drained, that you just dived into it.
Right.
All of those things are so, I would imagine, huge, that people don't realize comes with entrepreneurship. Like there's so much you're giving back of yourself.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to know was, now, so you've been in this whole corporate world, you've been in the military world. Those are two separate spaces you've already been in, where you're working a 9 to 5, you reporting to somebody. Now that you're reporting to Excel, to Stephen Kohn, like you are responsible for yourself. What are the biggest differences you've seen between the 9 to 5 and entrepreneurship?
So one of the biggest things is freedom. I
We
mean,
not talking about
honestly,
that, did we?
yeah, we don't talk about that, but that is literally one of the biggest things. But freedom in a different, I guess, a couple different ways. So, freedom in, you know, executive control over certain things. I
Yeah.
mean, you can really, you can plan things, you can design things, and you can run it by friends and not really need approval from anybody, right? I don't need to go to my supervisor to get approval for this because, you know, again, I've done my research, I've done things, I've talked to people, and I think it's going to work. So I'm going to implement it. And guess what? If it doesn't work, I'm going to fail fast, and I'm
Mhm.
going to get right back to planning, and then I'm going to re-execute because, again, I had the vision. So if
Mhm.
I had the vision, even the first time I might not have had the right preparation, I might not have had the right resources,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna reattack it
Mhm.
because that second time, or maybe even that third time, it's gonna work.
Because I already learned from those failures.
I
I already
learned.
knew where I went wrong. I analyzed that. I didn't just say, "Oh man, I messed up. I'm gonna move on to the next plan." What you did was, instead of moving on to a whole new plan, you as an entrepreneur, you can decide, I'm going to just manipulate the original plan.
That's
Because
it.
I've seen the errors, I've evaluated, like you said, I look at data, I look at historical data, I look at facts. Once you look at those facts of the errors, that the things that contributed to your errors, you have that executive control to say, these are the things we're going to change different to make this plan truly work. You can decide, I want to do these weekly trainings with my agents. You can decide, I want to be the person that does these trainings and not put somebody else. Like you say, you don't have to get approval, but it is nice to run it by friends. And I'm sure when you say run it by friends, you're meaning those folks that are solid in your network,
Yeah.
that you can count on for solid advice.
Right. Like-minded.
Like
Um.
it.
Yes. Because you will find, if you haven't found, that in entrepreneurship, everybody ain't for you.
And the nine to
Everybody
five,
that
everybody ain't for you.
yeah, everybody ain't for you. Everybody not happy for you. Some people just want to hear your ideas and run with them, right? And so you got to know, who can I talk to, who can I really trust, right? And then
Be real.
yeah, who can I be real with? So my circle is super small. I always say, I don't even have a circle. I think it's a line.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Like that's
That's
it.
yeah.
salute.
Yeah.
I mean, we all, if we put us in a circle, everybody touching. My circle's small too, honey, and I ain't got no problem with it. You know,
Right.
being a single female, you know, guys will be like, "Oh, bring your friends." Yes.
Right.
Oh, you got friends. Y'all pretty girls got friends. And I'm like, this one different. I ain't doing all that friend stuff because I want a group of quarters, not a group of pennies.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what value we bringing to each other? If I'm the only quarter and all of y'all are pennies, who really gaining out this thing?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I know that we're kind of running out of time, but this Andre person is on it with these questions. They're amazing. Is that your agent as well?
I don't know. It is not, but he can be one of my agents though.
I know. Come on,
about to
Excel.
start hiring. We're about to start hiring soon. What kept you hungry during the struggle or the building process? Honestly, so again, I talked about serving, but I can't save everybody. I can't serve everybody. So I know that there's more. The more times that I drive down Academy Road and in the Wayland and down in some of these areas in North Charleston, that it's like the need is there. So what keeps me going is I know that there's somebody else that needs me. There's somebody else that needs my expertise or my skill level, or not even just me. They need some of my agents, right? My agents need and the market needs to be under our leadership, or they need to be somewhere where they are being filled daily. So I talk about my agents, but I talk about the market in general. I'm here for everybody. You don't have to be with Excel in order for me to be who I am, because I'm just there all the time. I talk to other agents from other brokerages all the time. I'm a mentor, a coach. I'm a national real estate coach for a company called Club Wealth. And so I have clients all over the nation that I coach. So it's not just about here in Charleston. I'm literally here for everybody because I know that need is out there. And until that need is satisfied, I'm going to stay hungry.
Okay. And I guess to some degree, the demand is so great. It'll be a long time before you like.
Oh yeah. I need more people. Like I need more me. I need more.
But Stephen, let's go back a little bit, right? Because that's where you are now. But back when you were in, that first 5 years where you're signing, you're going to a broker in charge for different things have you in the real estate world. What kept you hungry in those beginning stages?
So I kept seeing things that needed to be changed. I kept seeing problems and no solutions were being even talked about. So to be clear, I mean, we real on here, right? So I used to work right. So I used to work at a company called the Boulevard Company in Charleston. I absolutely love to be there. However, I saw that I was really one of the only minority persons there, period. Like I probably was one of two for almost a year. And to me, it just felt different. It felt like there has to be more. There has to be
something. Ain't no black person will be
right. And so I start to address or evaluate like why, right? Why? And so I did some market research. I started looking at other agents, figuring out where they were, why they were there, right? Figuring out what benefits we have, what we didn't have. And then I realized that, you know what? It's not the brokerage, it's the people. It's the leadership. Right.
So that fed into your hunger as well.
That fed into it. And so honest to God, what I did was that was in 2015. I actually went to CSU, got my leadership degree, grad degree in leadership, because I felt like this is the time that I need to hone in and develop my skills in order to be able to lead more people. To lead people into the way that they really should go, right? And so I will allow God to lead me, and I will lead them, right? But I knew that I needed that skill set, and so to be able to change things in an organization, you got to be able to reach across the aisle. And so sometimes you got to learn the game. And so it's a right and a wrong way to do things. And it's a very professional way to make things change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when those conversations are difficult. So we talked about D&I earlier. Some of those D&I conversations are super, super hard to have. However, if you can relate, if you can get them to be emotional about anything, they'll make a decision. And that decision will also be in the right direction as long as you have the heart. If you have the heart to serve, you have the heart to show them why something doesn't sound right. Right? Why it's offensive. Why it shouldn't be done.
And I'm gonna give you an example. I was working at a place, right? And I got to be careful in my space, but
Yeah.
I was, and that's the only time I'm gonna be careful when they would call them company names. But I was working in this place, and Black Lives Matter became this huge movement, and it was just becoming like the number one thing we were seeing on a TV screen. The George Floyds were happening, and it was just a lot at the moment. And then, just like that, Juneteenth became a holiday, and the leader of our organization asked me, and had already been asking me for quite some time, to recruit more diversity. Never said minorities. He kept saying, I want us to be more diverse. And I asked him, I said, well, why do you want us to be diverse? Because, I need to see if we're in alignment.
Yeah.
Like, am I on the right target? And he said, well, Tamika, if you look at our leadership team, we only have 2 minorities of 12. I appreciate that he would acknowledge that. I said, yeah, you're right. I said, when you're saying diversity, are you meaning just minorities? He was like, no, I just want us diverse in every way. So, from my HR here, when I hear diversity, I'm thinking I need veterans. I need folks that look disabled. I need folks that are disabled and we can't even see that they're disabled. Right. I need folks of not just different colors, but different ethnicity, different religions. Like, I need a little bit of everybody. I need some folks that have, pronouns that we wouldn't probably normally address with them if we just saw them, right?
Right.
So that's where my mindset is going. And I said, okay, I didn't do it because I was like, I ain't gonna say I don't feel. We had some interviews where we had some very talented Black folks that surpassed the white folks in these interviews, and they weren't given a job. Surpassed them. Interview was amazing. Resume was amazing. I mean, it was crazy. So I was like, we ain't ready for that. So he came back to me later and he was like, hey, I really need you to get on this because some of the trips I was supposed to go on to push off this initiative got canceled because of COVID. So I said, well, the trips got canceled, I'm just gonna wait till COVID calmed down. I'm gonna do it again. And he said, well, let me know what kind of gives you hesitancy because I see it. And I said, when a Black person asked me, what did we do to celebrate Juneteenth? What should I say? Oh, well, you can just tell them that we have a floating holiday. They can use a floating holiday for whichever other holiday they want. I said, okay. I said, so when a Black person asked me, what do we do in support of Black Lives Movement? What should I tell them? Oh, Tamika, all you have to tell them is that we decided to remain neutral.
No.
I said, so you want me to tell them that we don't care about their husbands, we don't care about their brothers, we don't care about their fathers, we don't care about their uncles, we don't care about their nephews? Like, you want me to tell a Black person we just thought that was a neutral, like,
right?
And it's just that just blows me because people don't realize how they sound when you get into a space and you're like, this isn't comfortable for me. I need to acknowledge that there's a difference here, and how can I make it equitable? It comes with a lot of work because people don't realize how that stuff comes out when they say it.
Yeah, they don't. And so, I'm glad you brought that up. When people say diversity, I think about diversity in the same way that you just said, but then also diversity in mindset, diversity in perspectives, right? We need diversity at the round table, at the leadership table, at the executive table, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just based on gender and race. I need some high D's in the room. I need some high I's in the room. I need some high C's in the room and some high S in the room, right?
Now.
Right. So it's more to it. And these are the things, especially as HR professionals, looking into things like that to really say that this is a diverse board, right? This is a diverse panel slate that we're going to interview, right? This is diversity, not just about, hey, we need to get two more black females or black males because we have, a certain percentage. No, it's about who's qualified, who has what it takes, who has the skill set that we're looking for, right? And who's really going to be a great fit for the organization long term.
Man, come on. That's an entrepreneurship and working in a regular job. And this is the thing, because a lot of people have said to me, so when I was in high school, my mother had me, my junior and senior year, I went from a predominantly black school to a predominantly white school, right? And when I got there, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is all the way just different for me. Well, it kind of put me in a comfortable space because I already come from, being around people that look like me. And now I'm building a comfort level for the folks that doesn't really relate with me. And so as time continued to go on, it was just like, I would take jobs and just like you, I would be the only person of color at the table. Many jobs throughout my career and definitely while I've been in HR. And I've had people say to me, well, how you feel? They just got you there as a chosen person just so everybody can feel like, like, oh, they just fit in that affirmative action. Like, I'm pretty sure you get that as you trying to blaze this trail for people behind you because you are the only one. How do you take that on?
Yeah. So it's crazy. So I've been there for so long, and I really the way I have to combat it two ways, right? So you gotta tell. So first of all, whoever came to you and said that, right? Now you gotta put them at ease and let them know, hey, I may be, the chair of DNI, whatever, but I'm still Stephen Kohn. Like, you can look at me and this is me. It doesn't change. My face doesn't change. I don't start talking differently. I am the same, right? So I am fearless, and I will walk into a room and I will tell them exactly how I feel. And that's how I've gotten to where I've gotten, because I am bold and I'll say what needs to be said.
You're comfortable with Stephen Kohn.
I'm comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable, and I'm also comfortable in what I'm saying, because I know if I'm saying it, I've done the research, it's real.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to you in a way that you understand, and I'm gonna make sure that, before we leave this room, we have an understanding that this is where I stand and I'm not changing. And it's not even me not changing, it's because it's so many people behind me that's dependent on this. Right. So when you can stand in that truth, and when you can really understand and be bold about it, and not and understand that it's not just about you, it's about so many people, that one change could be life-changing for so many people.
Yes.
And so that's how I realized, like, you know what, maybe they did need me to be on the board because I was a black male, right? But guess what I'm gonna do with it though?
All right.
This is the part they don't know.
All right.
So I'm gonna make sure that I show up and I'm vocal and I make the changes, and now they're gonna regret that they pulled me up.
Okay, because when I'm done with this, I ain't gonna be the only one up here.
I ain't gonna be the only one. Now I'm about to bring my homeboy up here.
Okay.
I'm bringing my homeboy. I'm bringing my homegirl.
And we about to drive into this meeting. I die laughing at myself sometimes as I drive into some, like, you in your space, you end up in some spaces where you're like, boy, it's just me. But I just die laughing because I roll on in with my good old like R&B playing, like my southern soul when I get in my mood, like, and I ain't got no shame in my game. People worry about turning the music down before you get it. Now y'all about to hear me blast this. Hey girl, how you doing? Like, we about to go ahead with this meeting.
We
like,
lit.
You got to be comfortable in yourself, man. You got to be comfortable in yourself. And then you bring all the fire that need to go being lit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't bringing no fire. You can't say you lit if you ain't know who you are. You don't know what your purpose is. You don't know what your plan is. You don't know what your passion is. And now you're trying to say, I want to go in this space. And if you're still trying to figure that out, there's nothing wrong with putting yourself in a circle of folks that are where you want to be to help you define it.
Yeah. That's it.
You got them boys out here. They hilarious.
Wow.
Have to be studying to get their license. No, girl. We ain't even need no license right now. They about to Get the license now. So they gonna get the license later. Well, how he gonna put you on the board if you ain't got the license? Y'all got.
I need the license. Come on now. Come on. Y'all trying to get me shut down.
Don't shut the man down. Don't shut the man down. Yeah, I'm dying. I'm trying not to even pay attention to them because they're so silly, but I'm not even gonna hold you up. I think you know my last question you already answered. We had such a great fruitful meeting. Like this whole thing was just, it served me, and I'm pretty sure that you serve so many people. And you know the great thing about it is this live is going to be up on my channel. Folks can watch it at any time. So just imagine the folks' lives that you will impact in the future.
Yeah,
I think that just seeing, you know, you in this space and hearing how it was a struggle for you to get there, you know, hearing how your journey is, and just seeing that it's not all about the glitz and glam. It's so much more that goes with it for us to transition into whatever that entrepreneurship journey looks like, has been powerful for folks. That's one thing I like about YouTube, is that the information that you put on there, the videos that you put on there, are evergreen. So this will be out for years and years to come. That's and where not only, you know, your folks can see it, but anybody can see it after it. And it's just going to serve so many people. I mean, I'm imagining, just looking at the chat, folks enjoyed it tonight. And I only normally plan for this thing to be an hour. We're an hour and a half in. Wow. It feels like it's only been like 30 minutes. That's before it has been. I mean, y'all tell me in the chat if y'all enjoying it like I am.
They still rocking.
Huh?
I said they still rocking on here.
No, they wide open up in there.
I like it.
But so this is a blessing. This is
Tar said, I need study material, Stephen. I'm trying to nice. Do you have any advice on something? Yeah, so yes. I'm actually working on, well, I already finished it, but I'm gonna be pushing out a online course basically about how to establish a real estate a relationship-based business. So this will be really good. It won't be all geared towards real estate. As soon as I get it out, I'll definitely send it to you so that you can send you the link and everything. So you can push to get people.
Not only would I like to attend it, but I'm also, and I'm gonna shoot your information over to a group. I'm in a group called the E-Brand Club, and we get you know, guests on a regular basis on different techniques and different things. And so I'm definitely going to shoot your information over there. We have a group of about 800 of us. It's all online so that you can join in with that as well. So I'm excited to see, you know, your course is coming out. But to finish telling us about it, I just want you to know that I'm going to be throwing your name out there.
Yeah, no, good. So the course is basically how to build a relationship-based business. It covers a lot of different things about, again, most of our business is based on relationships, but relationships is really built in networking. You really just got to grow in a lot of different areas. You got to grow in public speaking. You got to grow in getting out of your comfort zone. Yeah. And, you know, this just kind of teaches you how to do that, how to do it safely. And then also how to just really be a boss. So I love, so I love it, but I am going to get into the educational arena, I would say. So there'll be more and more classes coming out, but that'll be my first one. It'll be online. So it'll be an online e-course, and I'm actually going to be teaching it in February. So
do you have an email list that we can register on to get on the waiting list so that we can get updates about it?
It will, as soon as it drops. I think it's supposed to drop December 1st. So we will get that, and then it'll be kind of like a Christmas thing. So
nice. Okay. So if we just look at you on check you out IG and Facebook.
Yes, follow me on IG. Is at Kohn Stephen, Kohn Stephen.
I got a pinned in it. So tell me if what I got pinned in there is correct.
I think I did too. Yep. You're good.
So you guys can there. He give us updates on when his course drops because it's coming out in December.
Yes.
He's going to level up and do even more.
Yes. And then
that's a crazy great start.
Somebody said, do you have any advice on something you wish you would have done but you didn't? So
that was your course. And then
so the last question was one of the things that I wish I would have done that I didn't. And honestly, I would say is that I didn't trust and believe in myself when I should have. I feel like I waited too late to jump. And
Wow.
so because I waited too late to jump, I had to jump through a lot more hoops than I probably would have had I done it when God told me to do it.
Yeah.
So I was scared to move. I was scared to jump because I was so caught up in how society says your path should go.
Yeah,
How
what it-
society says what your work life should look like. But if I would have just believed in myself and believed that God has my purpose and the plan is already written, then it was my faith. And so I go back and forth with that all the time. And I always tell people I was 2 years too late.
Wow.
And it was at that 2 year mark, and I remember the day vividly, but I know that if I'd have done it that day, I probably would be a lot further. But I'm so grateful for where I am today, because I know that one day I said enough is enough.
But you know, the craziest thing about that is, even though God may have told you 2 years before, I think it's just amazing that you were able to show the success during a time when the world was shut down. Not just
Exactly.
Charleston, not just the state of South Carolina, not just the nation. Like, we were literally in a pandemic, and here you are doubling and tripling numbers.
Yeah.
Like, so when all odds are against you, but you got that passion and that purpose, it just ain't no reason why you can't get there, why your cup
Right.
can't get filled in any way that you want it to be filled, because you
Right.
had every obstacle against you.
Everyone.
You probably could have done it 2 years before, but then you would have been accustomed to a world that you didn't know was going to change. So I
Absolutely.
personally feel like
Oh
God
yeah, work.
it's such
It,
divine intervention.
it worked. It worked right in God's timing. But
Yeah.
the biggest takeaway from that is, when you feel it, do your research.
Yeah.
Plan. Just kind of go back. Make sure you got your why. Make sure you got your purpose. Make sure you absolutely interested in it and you can be consistent with it. And then make sure you reach out and do some research. Talk to some people that's in the industry.
Do some math.
Find out. There you go. Do some masterminds.
Excel.
And don't be afraid to pay for some courses. Like, get some education.
Come on
right?
now. Tell me with that. They want everything for free. No, you
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah, pay for some courses. Get a coach. Like,
you invested in yourself.
You are absolutely investing in yourself. I have two coaches right now that
Wow.
yes. So I have two coaches. I think I posted on Facebook a couple of days ago. I see a therapist. Like, this is part of my self-care.
Listen, my appointments, standing appointments. I chill for a little bit because I started a new job doing YouTube and all that.
Yes.
And listen, I used to be booked for 6 months at a time. I get to the end, I'd be like, we ain't got no appointments on the book.
That's it.
Back on there.
You gotta have that. Your mental health matters not only in the workforce, but really in the entrepreneurship.
That is so powerful. Now, Stephen, we need a part 2 for what? Come on now. Let's get off this thing.
Let's
because
do a part 2.
People see your success and they don't realize that you went through the things that society would shame us on. Society used to be like, oh no, you can't be telling nobody, that you need mental health. Well, you need a counselor for, especially minorities. Like, in our African American upbringing, like, going to a counselor and seeing somebody was like not what you did.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing is, when I decided, was I had an employee that came in my office and we worked in a predominantly white office, and she had said to me, Tamika, I feel like I'm too black for the white community, but I'm too white for the black community. And that was exactly how I felt. And she was like, so I need some help. So, she went out to the EAP and reached out to a couple of people. Little did she know I was doing the same thing, because she's trying to make me realize, like, it's okay to get this help and like try to navigate this thing, because I feel like it's taken over too much of my mental space.
Right.
And so when she got with hers and she was like, what did you find out? I was like, I tried a couple out, but I didn't have that fit. And so I said, who'd you find? And when she connected me, it was just, I knew that was my counselor, and I've been going to her for the last, 2-3 years now. Absolutely love her. I've talked about her on several videos, pinned her information in several videos, but people see where you are. They see the glitz, the glamour. They see how comfortable life is for you. They see that when an emergency pops up, you can handle it financially and mentally. And they're like, well, how you get there? It's because I'm doing some shit people ain't never done before. Or people don't believe in doing. You got to get out of that comfort space. You got to put into yourself. You got to say, okay, I'm going to reinvest into myself, whatever that may cost me. I'm going to make sure to do my research and make sure I'm not paying something stupid. but I'm going to reinvest in myself. I'm going to get with the right network. I'm going to get with the right people. And I'm going to make sure that I'm giving back to myself with self-care. And I'm going to make sure that I'm giving a good balance. So for me, my counseling appointments are my self-care too. Working out is self-care for me, but also my counseling appointments. Y'all got to get with this man. If y'all want to level up and get out that 9 to 5 and see what entrepreneurship, like get yourself around these people right here. And
got to.
Oh man. They are so like motivating in this group. One minute they laugh and next minute they motivate each other.
Love it. Love it.
Other stuff tonight, and I love it. I love every bit of it. But thank you so much, my fellow EVAs, Bree, for coming on. She was on with us last week, and that's my she does business and life coaching. And so Bree has really talked to us about the home work-life balance. So happy she found some time to jump back on us. It looks like Will is going to give all of these resources to Raven so that she can work with Excel, and then Raven's going to give all these resources to Tar so that she can work with Excel, because not everybody will work for Excel.
That's how we do it. I need
to get my next house. I know I got tons of agents I can reach out to.
That's how we do it.
I ain't got to worry your nerve.
That's it.
But Stephen, I really enjoyed being on here with you tonight. We already talked about the fact that you have a family, that you are running a business, so you don't have much more time to give to us. So I really appreciate you being on here. I thank you so much for just taking a text message and being like, I'm all in. Some folks want to ask you all the behind the scenes before they commit. I appreciate you for just trusting in me, trusting in Heyyy HR, and believing in yourself and knowing where your comfort zone is, to know that this isn't a space that's uncommon for you. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I don't even want to end it. Y'all, we might do a part 2 if Stephen got time, but we'll figure that out. And if we have time, who knows what our topic might be, because I'm gonna just let Stephen pick it. I told y'all he was gonna be dropping all kinds of gems, and some of them gems so damn big I can't pick them up. So we might need to put them on a part 2. I just absolutely love that. Oh, it said part 2 is needed.
I guess we got to do a part 2.
We got to figure that out. Your schedule is, I thought to say your schedule is crazier than mine, which I'm sure it is, with 88, folks and reporting to you and being on several boards. And before we get off of here, y'all had way too much fun downtown last week. Did you guys say I'm getting She said, yes, I'm gonna leak it to the public.
Yes,
I'm coming with an Excel shirt on if you need me to.
Listen,
because y'all look like y'all had fun.
So the Real Estate Connect, and this is I didn't even think about this, but this is a way that, again, I like to bring people together. So this is for real estate agents, contractors, whoever, anybody that supports the real estate industry by any means. It's for any and everybody to come. But it was one way that I found out that, we're doing so much work, but we don't want to share ideas. We don't want to share our own people. We don't want to share our networks and our circles. Like, no, let's come together. Let's do that. Right. And then let's talk about valuable things. So at my Real Estate Connect events, we had questions at each table. So every person,
that's why everybody looks so focused. Okay.
Yes. So it's 7 to 8 people at a table, and they all discuss whatever the topic was on the question. So the questions range from marketing. It talked about branding, talked about advertising, talked about DE&I, talked about some diversity issues, housing affordability, just some different things that we need to talk about. And you want to hear diversity and perspective. So I got that out of them by, bringing them here first. They enjoyed it. So yes, everybody will be connected the next time.
I love it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's not too much, I would love the video because, for a while, we were bringing in a ton of candidates from out of state, and you were helping them find homes. So I was giving out your folders, your business cards, and some went with you and some didn't, but it was nice to see that we had that resource. So I would like to be able to meet more of your team so that I can have multiple resources for people,
Love it.
It'll all be Excel, you know what I'm saying? We ain't
taking it out. Yeah. As long as it's Excel, I'm good.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna definitely figure out a date for part 2. I'm gonna let Stephen toss me some dates, and I'll definitely make my schedule available for him. But I appreciate y'all being on here so much. If you guys really enjoy this space, we do this right now. We've been doing this every Thursday. I think for the last 2 months, I've been coming on every Thursday at 7. You can find me same place, same time. Just know that I truly believe in a home work-life balance. So around the holiday times, we will not be on here. But if you want, just subscribe hit the alerts. You can get notified when we do go live, and definitely we'll have it on social media so that Stephen can let you guys be aware. We'll try to come up with a date that gives us a little bit more time to kind of promote and market, but obviously Stephen did something because he had all his agents on here. So, but I am so appreciative to have you. I want you to do me a huge favor and tell Rachel, I said, thank you so much for holding the house down while I hog your time. I
Absolutely.
really appreciate it. Y'all have a great, great night. You know, we'll be in touch.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
You too.